Hello lovelies and welcome to today's video. So I've got a 12 by 12 layout for you today, and these are my two handsome boys at my brother-in-law's wedding last October. And I thought I might try and use this wood grain. Now I'm not usually a wood grain kind of person. Obviously we know I'm a mixed media person and I tend to use just plain 12 by 12 white cardstock. Even when I do tend to use pattern paper, it's definitely not a wood grain, but I thought the wood grain would actually work for this layout because it's more of a formal picture. I thought it would work, and it does. So this was the first layout I had made, and I'm cracking open that awesome Color Blast paste, and I'm using the stencil. Now I was just going to do bits and pieces here and there with the stencil, but I end up actually doing it in a diamond anyway. So what started out as meant to be irregular and haphazard didn't turn out that way. You'll see in a minute. This is actually a really cool stencil. I love this stencil. I'm looking forward to using it a couple more times. Now, if you're new to color paste, it is like a texture paste, but it dries glossy, and the color it is in the jar and when it's wet, completely different to the color it ends up as. So when this dries, you'll see a very substantial color change. Now I have actually swatched out all of my color pastes for this exact reason, because you never really know what it's actually going to look like until it's dry. So I was trying to get some texture on my page and use this paste in another kind of way. I don't actually like this. I would have preferred this page if I hadn't have done this with my palette knife. So basically I'm just getting my palette knife and like an old gift card, and I'm just trying to make some lines on my page. Obviously with paint this technique is much easier, but being texture paste of a sort, doesn't work as well, and I don't like it, but it's on the page. This is one of those things that you can't really wipe off. Once it's down, you can, and it'll get rid of it, but it'll still leave a bit of a shine there when you're done, which I'm wondering if maybe would have even looked better. Anyway, it's on the page. As I always say, it's a memory in the album, so if I really don't like it one day, I can come back and re-scrap it. So as you can see, yeah, the color changes. So I've pushed that off to the side because I find when I use my heat gun to dry it, it dries it and changes the color, but it's still very soft. So it's sort of like you've just got to let it cure. So now I'm going through the pretty papers looking for something I can use to map my photo. Now, with the first layout I make of a kit, it's like there's too many choices. It's one of those things where there's so much and you have ideas for everything, but then finally trying to put it all together. Yeah, this was that. My second layout that I did, I love so much more. But yeah, I always find the first one very daunting and very sort of like hard to get started. Sometimes I will see something in the kit, a piece of pattern paper or an embellishment or something, and an idea will just pop in my head and off I'll go. Not so much this one. This layout, I really had to work for it. But yeah, I like how it turns out. It's different to my style. Normally when I scrap my boys, it's very grungy, very messy, very mixed media. But because this was a wedding layout, I was going for more of a formal, floral, elegant kind of look. So that's why I went and got out this black and white paper. I saw the swans on it and I thought, oh, that might work. Is that? No. Yeah. And then after I finished matting my photo, so I matted on white cardstock first and then on a pattern paper, and then I go through all the bits and pieces to see what I can find, and I end up using an acetate piece. You'll see in a minute. So I've been trying to work on my layers lately in the sense that I'm trying to get more edgy and grungy, but on this layout that wasn't going to work. I knew I wanted it to be straight lines, nice and crisp, and yeah, just a very simple framed border. To give my photo layers some dimension, behind the white cardstock and the pattern paper, I've actually mounted my photo on some cardboard to give it some dimension. So instead of using foam tape or a foam sheet, I've used some cardboard, and it's given me a nice little bit of dimension. So it's not just flat and stuck down. And I like adding some of that dimension in my photo matting because it just looks really nice. I like the way the effect it has. And then, as you can see, it also gives me somewhere to tuck my embellishments. So this is that acetate piece I was talking about. I cut it in half, and I don't know, swans say weddings and elegant to me, so I thought it would work for this one. This is probably one of the only times my boys will A, ever be matching, and B, ever be in suits with ties and vests ever again. As it was, for the youngest, this actually took a fair few visits to the occupational therapist, to his OT, to talk him into wearing this outfit and the shoes, and lots of bargaining and things. Not that we told the bride and groom, we soldiered on. But yes, he's a soccer shirt and shorts kind of kid, and shoes when he absolutely has to. And these were really, really nice leather formal shoes. And yeah, let's just say by the time he had walked down the aisle and stood with his dad, he sat down, shoes were off within 2 minutes. By the time the bride and groom had walked back down the aisle, he had his vest and shirt and bow tie off and had a Batman shirt on. It's actually, I remember the photographer bribing him to get some nice photos of him in his outfit. But anyway, yeah, so this is why I love this photo so much. They look so cute. This is before the wedding started. And this was a quick sit next to your brother and I'll take a photo kind of thing. And they're actually both looking at the camera, which is almost unheard of. And they're actually touching each other and not trying to kill each other. But anyway, it's just a really nice photo, and they just look so grown up. And yeah, so as I've been rambling about my pretty photo, I've just added a few bits and pieces. So the butterflies I ended up really running with. So I was wondering what else I could use to embellish. I found this butterfly, but I wanted to add some more gold. So what I did is I got some of the color paste and put it on my hand, and then I've used my finger to just sort of paint basically that paste onto the butterfly. Now, because I've done it very thinly, it's very translucent, but it still gives it a really nice shine, a very nice gold sheen to it. And the only bad part about the color paste is you can't photograph it well. So in the photos I share with you, it just doesn't do it justice. It really doesn't. So when you get your kit, have a play. That's the best way you're gonna find out how this stuff reacts and what it looks like. It is a great product. It's lots of fun, but you need to play with it to really see how shimmery and how gold it really is. So I've also made a small little cluster down the bottom with a bunch of flowers. I've tucked another butterfly in there, and then I was going through the bits and pieces, and I found what I was going to use for my title. I'm really going with the gold. Because I've used the gold in the background, I was able to use gold in my embellishments, and it just coordinated with the layout. So bringing in the black with on the acetate, it works with my background paper, but also with my photo. The boys are wearing navy blue, but it just works. And then with the pops of gold everywhere, it really came together. And then I just ran with it with the butterflies. I love butterflies, and I thought even though this is a picture of my boys, it still worked. So thanks for watching, and I'll be back real soon. Bye for now.